All right, we are
All
live.
right.
Good morning.
Good
Happy
morning.
holidays.
Yeah, exactly. Happy holidays is right. It is hard to believe that. I mean, I say this every year, like, wow, I can't believe it's the holidays and yet it just goes like this. And then the next thing I know, I'm wearing a sweatshirt from 100-degree temps to 55. It's just like, yep, we've arrived.
We're here. Yeah, we are both wearing red in honor of this holiday episode. It felt good putting on a red sweater. I haven't done that yet this year.
Yep, I have my hoodie on, which is nice and cozy. I'm trying to keep now that I have a breather from the AC bill, it's like, okay, now I get to layer in my clothing because I'm not turning the heat on yet. I just can't at this moment. I mean, I do kick it on to take the edge off in the morning, but but I'm like, I have relief from a $450 AC bill, so I don't want to have the gas bill go up because I'm freezing now.
I was just gonna
Um,
say that. That's the best part. This is kind of when we get to save up some money for next summer.
yes, seriously. Um, yeah, I'm excited. This will be our last episode of this season, and we're going to take a break for our holidays and be present in our family and friends and gatherings that are throughout, I would say, Thanksgiving to the New Year. So it's just weekend after weekend. There's always something. And we thought, why not have an episode on how to keep the goals in alignment through the season? Anything from your food intake, your working out, or just doing the self care, like all of it.
Exactly.
Um,
I'm so excited for this because I know for me, every season around the holidays is when I end up gaining some weight, and then it just comes on so quick and it just takes 3 times the amount of time to lose it. So I really, this year, my goal is to just, my goal this whole year has been to not yo-yo and just kind of maintain. And so it's good to do this episode and help other people do the same so that
Mhm.
we make a plan going into it and can just set ourselves up for success.
Yep. And I've had clients in the past that I've worked with their food and macros, and we have been successful to not have weight gain over the holiday. Like it is absolutely possible, and enjoy the gatherings and the food that's in front of us. And
Mhm.
so we're going to go over all those topics um, and power pack that uh, um, success.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the first thing is so planning ahead, planning for balance and not depriving yourself, like you said, because that's the worst place you can be in is having the guilt associated with these different things. And so it's really important to plan for that balance of enjoying and still staying true to yourself and like keeping that trust with yourself.
Mhm.
So, allowing yourself to have the seasonal treats. What I tell my patients is have your non-negotiables. Have the things where you know that apple pie is your absolute favorite and you won't miss it. So
Mhm.
make sure that you take into account that you're going to have that, and then maybe skip the holiday cookies that are there in convenience. And maybe as a habit in the past, you might have one of everything, but maybe say, okay, you're going to enjoy it more if you really hone in on the things that you really want to enjoy, and maybe do half a slice of apple pie and be okay with that and savor it
Mhm.
in those little bites.
Mhm.
Um, and
Well,
do
and
you have anything
well,
to
yeah,
add
no,
to that?
I agree because we're used to the big portions right off the bat on Thanksgiving, and there's always leftovers. So remind yourself that you can pace yourself. Like there will
Mhm.
be more slivers of that pie or more, little spoonful of mashed potatoes or whatever your go-to favorites are for the leftovers. It's like you get to graze on that throughout the week. So that's a thought process if it's Thanksgiving or even, that Christmas dinner, and I think to myself, what if you made the dinner another time in the year? Like, that would help people realize, like, it's not just go all out, right? Like, it is
Mhm.
possible to make a smaller turkey or a smaller ham or whatever your traditional dinner is make that in other parts of the year, and it won't feel like it's all or nothing for another 364 days.
I love that.
So, I mean, that's just my thought process, is like the mental way of approaching it. Um, and then being mindful too, like you said with the pie, like enjoy it. Like it's there, enjoy it. But in balance, just like we say to your, at home in the middle of the spring, when how you're mindful in that space, or the fall, or it is the same approach throughout.
Absolutely. And um, I like how you mentioned too, before, just planning a lighter meal before or after. So then you're not like, oh, all in on this meal. Like you show up starving, and that's when you
Mhm,
end up overeating. I
mhm.
know like people are like, oh, I'm just gonna fast all day and then but you might end up eating 3 times the amount that you normally
Mhm.
would.
Well, and the other thing too is, like, going in is there's always snacks. I know with our family, my mom is good about having the veggie tray, and then we have the meat and cheese tray and the nuts, and so you're just snacking and snacking and snacking right before, like, within an hour of, like, the meal being
Mm,
ready, because it's quote unquote the
mhm,
appetizer. So I just think, just make sure you get up, have your breakfast. If you tend to eat in the 2 or 3 o'clock hour for the Thanksgiving meal, the Christmas meal, whatever that is, it's just get up, have your normal breakfast, get in your normal activity. You don't have to rush out the door to get to school, or, drop the kids off at school or get to work, because you can just get in that movement of whatever that looks
mhm.
like. Treat it like any other day. The difference is you're surrounded by family and friends, which is the whole purpose of the holidays, not just the food. It's a
Yes.
bonus, you know?
Yeah, exactly, and plan ahead for that. You already know what challenges you're gonna be faced with. So, planning ahead for, "Okay, I'm still gonna have my non-negotiables." Maybe there's non-negotiables that you have where you get in a 30-minute workout. Like, keep that, goal with yourself, because you're gonna thank yourself. I mean, this isn't a time to just throw everything out the door. It's a time to stick to your certain commitments, and then know that there's certain things that are gonna be different that you're gonna want to indulge in. So
Mhm.
that's a great idea to just get in your movement. Your future self will definitely thank you.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Um, and then, so we've chatted planning ahead, looking at it in a different perspective. We did tap a little bit on that mindful eating, and just the portions, and knowing, like, you're just going to come into a normal day, and keep in mind not only the portions on your plate, but like I mentioned prior, is you can have leftovers. Like,
Mhm.
imagine how you get to graze through the week until they're gone, and still have your normal breakfast or your salad or whatever that looks like. And
And
then, go ahead.
being mindful, the snacks add up. Every
Mhm,
single thing that you put in your body, that adds up. So if you're really looking forward to that main meal, and you know that there's certain things that you really want to indulge in, maybe
mhm,
skip the snacks and save yourself, because every calorie counts at the end of the day, especially if you're wanting to maintain your weight, or
mhm,
if you're trying to even lose weight right now. You don't want everything that you've worked for all
mhm,
year to go to waste over you indulging in something that's just in front of you and everyone's
mhm.
doing mindlessly. Like, be mindful of that. Like,
Right.
okay, every 500 calories that I consume today, that could make me gain a pound. after
Mhm,
this.
mhm.
So just being mindful of those things, because it's so easy to just see these snacks in front of you, and out of habit, I know I am like so notorious for this, is just grazing, and you're having conversations with people so you don't even realize it. So
Mhm.
part of being mindful is like acknowledging it.
And I think too, the other thing is having realizing that depending on what those bites are, one bite can be 50 calories.
Mhm.
You know, that there is some averages going on out there. You can look it up online, but you know, when you're, let's say, a 4 bites is 100 calories, and how much greater would those bites be when you're actually sitting down and mindfully enjoying your food,
One
you know?
handful of nuts can be 200 calories. One
Mhm.
handful.
Right. And cheese, crackers, salami, you know, whatever those pre-gaming snacks are. Um, but those are, again, when you go back to understand what you're eating, what its value
Mhm.
at and caloric count, fat, carb, protein in that macro space. You know, that all of that will help bring awareness. And you know, or if you are one of those who does a, you know, cheat meal every week, then allow that to be it. Allow
Mhm.
that meal to be that, but plan ahead. That just circles back around to what Claire's kicked us off with, was planning ahead and knowing that that's coming. And then come Black Friday, you opt outside.
Yep.
And you just keep doing, and you have, maybe it's a half a sandwich, not a full turkey sandwich left over, or ham sandwich, or whatever. Or, you know, I know some Italian families will do pasta and whatever that looks like. So think of that, and the next day is just have one of your meals with a portion of that. Um, and like I said, you know, keep active. You know, just
Mhm.
keep those activities going. I always like Black Friday to be a opt outside opportunity. Most of us have it off, unlike myself, who's in retail,
Oh,
but
no.
but I still will. The store doesn't open early for us, but I will ensure to, um, you know, just get in a workout, be outside, take advantage of that. The weather, you know, in our area of Arizona is just beautiful. And typically it's a great day to be outside, to get in a hike, get in a walk with the family, have the kids hop on their bikes. You know, it just is such a good opportunity. In states where it might be chillier, you know, find those activities that get you moving, and just enjoying the
Yeah, and
day.
it's a great chance too to bond with family. Maybe you have family in town. Maybe
Mhm.
this is your one of two get-togethers. Maybe you only see them at the holidays. This is a great way to say, "Hey, let's get together tomorrow. Let's go on a walk." It doesn't have to be the best workout of your life. You know, it can be
No.
something that's fun.
Movement.
You just ate a bunch of a bunch of turkey and mashed potatoes maybe, but so it doesn't have to be the best workout ever, but your body is going to thank you so much because you're helping to move your body, break down whatever you just ate, help you digest better what you just
Mhm,
ate,
mhm,
and also help you bond with your loved ones. And even doing
mhm,
an activity, I know in Washington it would be super cold out, but everyone just throws on your jackets, goes for walks,
mhm.
and plays football
I was just
outside.
gonna say the football thing, we've done that, and it's just nice. Connection.
Mhm. And then even going on a walk maybe after dinner, after, because
Mhm,
so the way your blood sugar works is you consume all this food, especially if you're having potatoes, if you're having bread. Of course, I'm gonna have my grandma's
mhm,
rolls a lot of times. So
mhm,
doing that, your blood sugar is gonna spike. But if you go on a 10-15 minute walk outside, maybe grab some of your
mhm,
family members that would be up for it and just walk it off. And that's such a short period of time if you think about it, but just getting
mhm.
out there, getting in that 10 minutes in the grand scheme of the whole night, that's not much. So if
Mm-mm.
you're doing that, that can help to stabilize your blood sugar. You're not going to have any crazy spikes, and that'll help you maintain your weight.
Yes. I love it. Hydration. That's a good one.
This is a big one.
We've talked about hydration in the hot months, but we're going to chat about hydration just to curb some of those cravings. It just it kind of fills the belly a little bit. But a lot of times in the colder season, we aren't taking in those electrolytes like we normally would with that hot temperatures. And so it's just as good to keep that in. And sometimes it's not that you're actually hungry, your body's telling you I'm thirsty. And just making sure you're kind of reading what it is that your body's telling you. And sometimes it's like, wow, I haven't had any water for a few hours. I'm going to try that.
And I've had 3 glasses of wine and a holiday cocktail. So it's also, what are you hydrating with?
Yeah.
Because if you're at my family gatherings, you've already been offered a cocktail and a glass of wine. So mixing in the water with that, it's easy to just get caught up in your conversations, whatever. Yeah, socializing, and it's really easy to get dehydrated if you're not hydrating with the right things. So just be mindful. That goes back to the be mindful part. And I'm taking my own notes right now because I know that I don't always do this. But it is great to throw some water in, maybe alternate a cup of water for every drink that you have. And but don't drink too much, because then your decision making gets thrown off in general, and then you're going to end up eating more than you probably would have wanted to.
And the thing too, I'm talking to the viewers who've been on a mindful eating and lifestyle. If you're doing that and then all of a sudden you engage in a little bit more alcohol or even sugars in the food, you'll likely not feel great because you're introducing all these things that you've minimized within your life. And so adding that in is going to, the side effects of that may leave you sluggish and just not feeling great physically. And, be mindful of that so that you're not overloading your system, which you've done well at cleaning, keeping it cleaner, and the volume of food, you've shifted that. So your stomach is just not prepared to process that high volume all at once. And even over a few days span, it can just feel like awful. I mean, I've heard a lot of people who've been going through a very mindful, strict for them, and then all of a sudden they get to a vacation or they get to the holidays and they feel like junk because they're just not used to that. And that is the side effect of it's an awareness to be like, wow, I am actually doing the right thing because I'm not taking in all this, extra sugars and processed things. But then, you realize, there's a reason why I've cleaned that up. So it's a double-edged sword, but you definitely want to feel good when you're, with the family and they're visiting town, and just not like, ugh, because it will make you want to be more sedentary because you don't feel great, but your body's is like, what are you doing to me? So all the more to get out and do that walk after eating.
It's going to be such a mental fight inside of you because so much of you is going to want to do the same things that you've done in the past. So you're really going to have to say and set those rules, set those non-negotiables of, okay, I'm going to maybe start with half of the portion that you normally would, and start with that. Just see how you feel. If you want to go back for seconds, do it. But it's better to not have it in front of you, and then you're practicing that, building that trust with yourself and practicing your discipline, and set the non-negotiables of, okay, I'm going to go on a walk after. Who's coming with me, first of all, because then you can have your accountability buddies of, okay, after this, make sure I do it. Make sure we actually do this. That can help too.
Yes, absolutely. Sleep. Let's chat sleep. I think it's key to remember that, like, as our schedules get full, later gatherings and parties, but you're just getting back up early for your normal routine. Make sure you're mindful of that sleep. It'll also keep your immune system up, and you're not eating in those extra hours. And
Mhm.
that's my take on it. But I know, Claire, you've done sleep uh podcast in the back and the value of that.
Yeah, well, the sleep is one of the core things, right? It goes just along with the nutrition, physical activity. So if you don't get enough sleep, you're going to be less likely to want to go exercise. You're going to be less likely to eat healthy because everything works together. So if you're missing any one of those aspects, then you're less likely to hit another one. So might as well focus on the sleep, get that full hours in. I think that's one of the most simpler ones because it's really just about the discipline of getting into bed at a reasonable hour. Another thing is setting realistic goals. So
Mhm.
uh, don't tell yourself, okay, I'm going to lose weight on Thanksgiving, maybe,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
but
Exactly.
just be realistic. Like maybe maintaining, okay, I'm going to go on a 15-minute walk. I'm not going to do this like crazy compound exercise or maybe do sprints
Mhm.
tomorrow.
Mhm.
Like
Right.
because if you're setting these goals that you're not going to hit, you're just going to be disappointed in yourself and you might be less likely to do anything at all.
Yeah, and or take a class. Maybe you haven't had time to take a drop-in class, whether it's spin or yoga, Pilates. And, during this holiday season, like maybe that's something you treat yourself to a little bit on the side. That's your Christmas gift or whatever holiday you celebrate. Maybe that's a gift you
Mhm.
give back to yourself. It just allows some of those um when a lot is going on, right? And the holidays spike, the gatherings, the families in town, invite them to do it. I had my cousin in a few years back for 2 years ago for Thanksgiving, and we just went on a nice walk. We parked in a different spot and then walked and got our coffee, and we sat and we chatted, and then we walked back to the car. But that was just a way for me to also keep moving, even though I would have much rather have just been cozy sitting in the coffee shop and sipping
Mhm.
coffee. But it was just like, no, I'm going to move. I'm going to keep that activity going. And that's valuable to me. And setting, like Claire said, just setting those goals of what that's going to look like.
And then enjoy your coffee after, and it's going to taste
Mhm.
even better.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
I
I
love
know
it.
Yeah, I know for a lot of us, it's a stressful time of year. And, the stress of finances, buying people gifts, to, flying cost expenses, travel stresses that are going on because of different weather in the country. Um, you know, just enjoy it, you know? I always laugh when people get crabby on Black Friday, and it's like, well, no one forced you to come out here, like you chose to get out and shop on Black Friday, and it's just a small example of just have fun. We have
Yeah.
enough seriousness going on in our everyday life of like deadlines with work or family stuff is happening and we're stressed in those pockets, but like this is the season of joy and happiness and just get back to the core values of the holidays. Like, why are we spending time with our family? Why do we get days off? And that's really to be
Mhm.
present and in the moment and just like leave the stress. Like it'll be there, work will be there when you get back from the time off. And it's just to like take the weight off and just be present and just get back to the core. I think
I
is the
love it.
most key.
Be in a
So
state of gratitude, especially
mhm,
just feeling thankful. I mean, it's Thanksgiving. Feel thankful for who you're with.
mhm,
Be in a state of gratitude. Don't talk about politics. I know that can really start some family drama. So just avoid all of that. Everything's going to be the same the next day. So maybe don't talk about it. You know, you have conflicting views, and just let it be a time for good vibes and
Yeah,
gratitude.
that's right. Wow, we've done it another season, Claire.
Oh, it's been
Number
so
2 in the
good.
book. I know we'll get our time to enjoy our families and our traditions, and we'll get to start the new year with a fresh outlook. And I'm excited for that. Claire, are you traveling? I know we're doing our chit chat on the back end, but any travel plans for you for this holidays?
Yeah, my family's actually coming here for Thanksgiving, so I'm
Ooh,
super excited to have them here and be able to go hiking outside and enjoy the sun, my first sunny Thanksgiving in my entire life. So
yes.
excited for that, and then I'll be traveling there for Christmas, I think.
Okay. I
How
have
about you?
yeah, it's a pretty low key Thanksgiving. I James and I were just kind of dialoguing about what we wanted to have for the meal, and it'll just be the three of us and the dogs. Um, and then Christmas, my family from Minnesota is coming out 2 weeks, like 12 days prior, and then they leave the 26th. So they're staying at the timeshare, but they'll be around. And yeah, I've got some changes on the horizon for me, and I'm excited to have a little window of time to breathe while they're in town.
Awesome.
So,
Wow. Well, I can't wait to
yeah,
hear about it.
yeah. So, January, here we come.
All right. See
Yep.
you all in January. Thanks for listening.
Have a good one.